these military guys were releasing these documents. I mean, it's crazy. They've talked about I've heard stories of Stargates. I've heard stories of interdimensional beings and wars that go on in the northern borealis forest. You know, why that they actually cap off all the caves. Like, if you know, this is one thing that's really weird. Caves, in a lot of major areas, they cap them off. And it's like they say it's for safety, but it's just kind of like, well, that just doesn't, like, you just keep, it's really weird. And like in Austin, there's a whole thing that they dump nuclear waste. But I mean, if you know a lot about the cave systems, they all connect at some point. Like they're mass systems in majority of them. And it kind of makes you wonder, you know, like how much of the world do we not see? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't
bring it up the hollow Earth.
Yeah, you know, I wasn't gonna go there, but that's pretty much. I mean, that's where you get into the whole ancient technology. The whole theory that there is a kind of logical science that describes the hollow Earth, and that's a real trip. Is when you know, when you actually get into that actual physics behind it, and you're like, whoa, because it makes sense. And that's always been the fun thing for me. Is I'm not really a conspiracy guy, but I'm a logical person who uses his heart to guide him on his path. And when it makes sense to me, that's when I really start to question. Because why does it make sense? You know, if it was, I've been told stuff like, it's like vaccines. This is my favorite one, vaccines. If you actually do the research, every single person who's for vaccine, every single video who's for vaccine is all the same information. And it's not even real information. It's all propaganda. If you look at the anti-vaccines, they all say that the inoculation practice is not a bad practice. It's the companies and entities who are in charge of the vaccines that we take that are the problem. And they give you all this hard evidence. They give you actual cases. They give you laws that have been passed so we can't even sue vaccine companies. That blows my mind. We cannot sue a vaccine company anymore because of the fact they got sued in the past. And it's just like, so it's as simple as that. Pro-vaccine is a bunch of propaganda and the same rhetoric over and over again.
Yeah.
Pro-inoculation, but anti-vaccine by major corporations. And this is funny. Pro-inoculation, so pro-vaccine, but anti-vaccine regulation by these horrible companies that are killing us. You know, it's like straight up gives you the facts. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, though.
I mean, you know, if I had the chance to speak with these people, you know, that are behind all this, I mean, I'd just like to ask them the question, why? You know, I mean, because you know.
Well, I know why. I can give you that answer if you want it.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so much more we could be doing. There really is.
Yeah. Well, it's as simple as fear, though.
Lockheed Martin, deceased director Ben Rich, before he died on his deathbed, he stated, quote unquote, "We already have the technology to bring ET home, but it's locked up in black projects, and it would take an act of God to ever get them out."
Well, I guarantee you that act of God is here. You know, I think as a consciousness, there's this British girl who's probably about 25, and she is just reaming everything of just like, you know, get over it. Your God, my God, that's a bunch of crap. There is no your God, my God. And it's like the whole term Allah, and people saying, oh, the Muslim God, Allah. You're acting like they're pagans. They're just as monotheistic as you are. You know, they worship the same God. It's the same story of creation and everything. You know, so how is it a different God just because they have a different word? And it's like, hey, guess what? They speak a different language, everybody. So when they say Allah, it's not a title of some deity who's this guy who looks like a Muslim. It's God. It's their word for the all and everything. And then our word God that we use in Christian culture in America isn't even a real term to describe the deity we believe in. It's a word that's derived from German. And it's like it's not even really a term that can even describe what we're meaning. And then you've got this horrible personification that it's a man or any kind of flesh being, which just blows me away. Like, I don't understand how something could create everything. And I don't understand how when people hear in its image, how that means that the thing looks like us. You know what I'm saying? And it can't just be like an allegorical representation that we are creators in its image, you know? Like, that just blows me away, since we create all this stuff all the time, right?
and the thing is, we do all these things without, any education on how to do them. We have so much potential. We can really go far. And once these technologies and once this information starts, to really leak out, pretty much only the information that has been disclosed right now or has been leaked, it's only about 10% of the stuff. Think of what people are going to do when 20% of the stuff is released. 30%, 40%.
I think some people will commit suicide, and then we won't have to worry about depopulation.
Some people are going to be pretty angry.
Yeah, well, I look at it this way. Like, this is why I'm such a pro mystery schools guy. I'm an initiate in a couple orders, and I'm very, pro on bringing to light what the mystery schools are and what they're founded on. I mean, it's as simple as this. Every company has secrets, and that's how the orders work, is they all have their own secrets, and it's just like a company. You got to protect those things because it's how it works. It's its whole structure. It's not about, not every order is Satanist baby killers. There are Satanist baby killers. Don't get me wrong, and I don't like them, but they're out there. Nothing I can do about it. But it's like, this is the biggest thing. When you really start to relieve this information from this concept of mystery teachings, you really start to see what their purpose is. And this is what blows my mind. If you do the research, you will find they did not find ET out there. They found ET right here. And they used traditional Goetia magic. And that is the leak that has come across multiple different branches, that they are interdimensional beings. They are not space aliens. They are things that, when they talk about angels and demons in the Bible, guess what? These things have been here for a long time. And that's why I'm such a, I hope that people out there listening can understand that this is a war on all fronts, and the fact to use a name, like Freemasonry, where there's so many pro-freedom fighters in Freemasonry, it's ridiculous. Nowadays, it's sad because you do have a lot of fluff and people who are just trying to get the title and business, and but I guarantee you there's a lot of esoterics out there who are big into science, big into technology, big into, this knowledge of waking up. And it's just like, because it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a Mason or a Rosicrucian or some OTO guy or just a pagan, or Wicca, it's like, the whole point is for the earth to be taken care of, because the earth itself is going through changes. And it's like we're just simple fleas on the back of this spinning ball of life. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's how small we are. Look up at the sky. My favorite thing, go somewhere where there's no lights if you live in a city and look up at the sky and then tell me how big you feel. Or go drop yourself in the middle of the ocean and try to swim. Tell me how big you feel after that.
Yeah, that's a good point there. And what do you think about the Greys? Because it seems to me that they're claiming that they are human, and I hate. I don't hate to break it, but I love to break it to you. They are human. In another dimension.
I was just gonna say.
It's another reality.
Yeah, I think it's as simple as this. Yeah, I think it's as simple as this. You've got humans from the dimension. I think human, first of all, human in traditional sense is hue, or the hue like the ray of light.
Allah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's just like, for all you out there who are listening, start researching the words, and you'll start to see that the English language is a magical language in itself that either programs you or empowers you. That is the sickening aspect of the English language. I hate, English language is scary. When you really start to understand what it is phenomenally useful as a tool. It has so much symbolism and mathematics in it that it just blows your mind, especially since it has root words. Like, all it is taking root words from different languages and twisting them so we don't fully understand what they mean anymore, like human. But I look at it this way, like you've got descriptions of over 80 different kinds of human beings on this planet right now. And that's not just like interdimensional everything. And that's from the government. So if that's what's going on, I think you have, from both aspects of dimensionality, I really think this is a waypoint. I think this is a special place, just like it says in all the historical texts, that this is kind of like an oddball place that these creatures from all these different dimensions go to. And, ones that were evil or ones that were gray, they can actually come here and somehow interact with our aspect of being. And I think that's what the concept of a fallen really represents, is the aspect of things coming here to interact with an interdimensional species. And I think that's what's really going to come out, is that we are not physical beings. We are interdimensional beings. And there are interdimensional beings already intermingling with us. It's just we're so young that we don't understand what's going on yet, because we're a mistake, basically. Like in the aspect of history, and this isn't my opinion, this is just what I've researched and is the hardest evidence I can find, is that we were created by something else. But you can't create something without it having divine purpose. No matter if you physically, like when we create AI, and we've already created AI, it has divine purpose because it is made not by our hands, it is made through our hands by whatever the hell controls all this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think that this world is way more complex than we really understand. And when you watch these fairy tales of goblins and ghouls and gnomes and fairies popping in and out of existence, I think that's really more of a reality than we want to believe, because it's so hard. I mean, how hard is it to admit that you don't know what reality is, and every day things could change and your world could become something new? I mean, one, that's kind of awesome, but two, it's scary as shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'm reading something right now, and here's what it says, and this is about human DNA. It says, collaborative research from a gathering of exoscientists postulate that there are genes from over 20 extraterrestrial civilizations in human DNA.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just like in this is an amazing thing right here. In the 9-month gestation period of the human, we actually go through the main species that are on this planet, that are like us, the flesh kind of species, like reptilian, aquatic, and then it goes into the mammalian with the fur, all the way into our new evolved self. That, to me, is a trick. So we start off as a single-cell organism, and then we evolve into this multicellular fish, and then we become a reptile, like a frog kind of thing, like a tadpole, and then we become this monkeyish. It's like, I think I saw a picture and it looks like some possum rabbit thing. It's really freaky when you look at some of these pictures of the actual fetuses. But they literally, the fetus actually changes, and you can see the resemblance to these different styles of creatures. So it makes you wonder, how the hell do we look like this? And if that happens with all primates, then it really shows you that this concept of separating evolution and creation is ignorance. Evolution and creation are one and the same. You can't have one without the other. It's like my favorite thing is when evolutionists talk about the Big Bang and all these different theories. It's like, dude, do you not get it? That's creationism. You're talking about a moment in time where everything is created. Whether you want to call it God or existence, it's still an all-supreme power called consciousness. It's like we still can't find consciousness in the brain, first of all. All you can see is the electrical patterns, but you can't actually see, oh, look, there's you in the driver's seat. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, picture consciousness and what we perceive as a TV screen. And no, I want you to literally picture this as a TV screen. Okay, so you're